Hey, this is Celia on the record at WNXP with Michelle, who's here in town on tour and just laid it all out on this small stage. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you
for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Could you introduce yourselves for the people just by first names, and then we can isolate, opinions.
My name is Layla.
I'm Julian.
I'm Emma.
I'm Sophia.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
I'm so glad to have you guys here, and especially because I love playing you on the radio, but seeing is believing, like the whole Michelle experience. So we'll get into specifics about your newest record, but I love to think about how you prepare for tour and all of it, right? The vocals, the choreography. Can you take us there to like prepping to get on the road and lay it out every night?
So it all starts with an email chain where we lay out everybody's responsibilities for prep and everybody's different responsibilities to create a timeline for prepping. We had to redo a lot of things for this upcoming tour cycle, so that happened almost a year ago. Then me and Charlie's responsibilities was getting together the instrumentals, the playbacks, and a majority of the vocal arrangements. So we just kind of, me and Charlie on our own, spent a couple months working on that. But the choreography was somebody's different.
And then there was me.
Yeah.
And then, so I spend similarly like knowing the timeline. We know when we want to prep. And so outside of that, I make all of the dances and then I bring them to the girls. And then we have wonderful dance studio time together. And then we shift stuff and I kind of present what I have, but then we adjust stuff together. And it's very different to like make something alone than to actually be inside of it and be singing inside of it. So we spend time doing that, and then we come all together and rehearse the whole show, top to bottom, 1,000,000 times.
Have you all been singers and dancers both, or was for any of you this new to like fold it together?
I mean, I was like a theater kid in high school, and
It's
I
all
was
checking out. Okay.
It's all
I'm with
if you couldn't tell, and I was in dance club in high school as well, and so I loved to dance, but I never really considered myself a capital D dancer. But ever since we added choreography to the show, I was just so excited from the get-go to start doing that, especially because like as a kid I just like wanted to be like a pop star and like get my Britney Spears on, so really grateful to be able to do that.
Yeah, I was a choir kid growing up, so not much dancing in choir and in a band in college. So I've been singing for a really long time, but this is the most I've ever danced in my life.
Yeah, and dancing too. I mean, it feels like it's so natural for all of you, but I'm sure rehearsal. So we love to see it, and thank you for it. So the record is Songs About You specifically. Some name dropping. I mean, you say it all out front, right? There's lots of names. I'm thinking of Akira and Adrienne, Kathy, Noah. Mm-hmm. Am I forgetting anybody? The gang's all here.
You're forgetting you.
That's am I? It's about me specifically. Next record, maybe. Talk about the inspiration behind this and these songs and how you tied them together with that album title.
Well, Akira came from a list of names that Charlie had like on his phone that he thought would be cool to like work into a song. And then Adrian came about because we needed a rhyme. And the story of Akira is technically it's fictional. Like it started with me and Charlie when we were writing in Ojai, and it just was a creative exploration of like betrayal and fidelity and like feeling guilty but also wanting more, and so the names just were kind of to fit the story that we wanted to tell.
I do love knowing that some are real people and some are not. So, okay, good.
Yeah, and I think once Charlie brought the title, we kind of, I guess I came after first, but I guess we looked at all the songs and kind of thought about how it felt like a more intimate collection of work than we'd done before. And so just wanted something that held that, and then also something that we could share with other people, because it felt very close to us, but we want it to feel the same to other people. So kind of a cheeky way to point out, but also to really look in as well.
Has anybody been like, wait, is this about me though? Are they all fictional?
No, it's basically all true. I just think Akira is the name of Charlie's. It's the name of like a movie that Charlie really likes, and then Adrian. I think Charlie just liked how it was gender neutral because does it end in an NE or just does it end with the N? You know.
Yeah.
That's the real question.
I'm thinking, I'm like, can I audit classes at your art school? Like we have dance, we have creative writing, we have vocals.
Come join.
I want to know how, in case people like don't know way back, like when you formed, how you said, we agree with all our different backgrounds on a vision for what this could be. Or is that an ever-changing quest to agree on a vision for what you are as Michelle?
Considering the like 90-minute call we had yesterday for upcoming, work that we're currently working on, it's definitely always evolving. Because when Michelle started, it was like a party on stage. We didn't really have choreography. We just like danced and had fun and sang with each other. We didn't have really assigned harmonies until like 2 years ago. We would just be like, oh, I sang that when we wrote it, so I'm gonna sing it again. But even if I don't sound the best singing that harmony, but that's what we did. And so Michelle has evolved a lot and will continue to, most definitely.
Yeah, the name basically came about. We had made this album, and there was a group chat, and me and Charlie were texting one night, and I was like, "What do you think this should be called?" And he was like, "What about Michelle?" And I was like in an Uber. I think I was like a little bit drunk, honestly. And I was like, sure, Michelle. And then we were like, okay, this is a good idea. We put it in the group chat, and Charlie was like, how about Michelle? And then maybe like 3 of the 12 people in the group chat like thumbs up the message, and that's all we need, like
it wasn't even a quorum. It was like
it was just like sure, like that's how we got, and then now we're stuck with it,
Yeah, and at the time, some of us were just like, oh, this was like a fun project to be a part of. Like maybe we'll hang out again. Maybe we'll do like another show. And here we are 6.5 years later.
You did not expect that. This was not from the...
No, I remember that summer I would talk about it and say, oh, I wrote 2 songs with my friends, and that was it. I didn't really think anything of it.
And so you all had to pivot, like, oh, we're pursuing this. This is our main thing. Can you think of an example of a song on this record, maybe it's Akira, maybe it's a different one that you sang, that was particularly collaborative in like the vocal harmonies, aside from the stage production, just recording it? Is there a story from laying these tracks down that you haven't told maybe?
I mean, Akira is definitely a good one because the bridge was the last thing to come into it, and that was really like, it took the whole song to like the next level. A lot of these songs were, we wrote them and then we had like what they were, and then we would do rewrite sessions for them. And it just helped these songs like grow into new lives and mature, I would say.
Yeah, I would say definitely the most collaborative song on the album was I'm Not Trying, which started as a track that I worked on with another band that started with a demo that another songwriter had made. It was a song that came out that then Charlie played a riff. We were in rehearsal. I was like, that sounds like something I could interpolate on. So we brought it into the studio, made a demo of it. The chorus was pretty solid, but the verses really weren't there. And so we actually then had everybody try to write different verses, and then we reinterpolated something else for another verse, and then Jamie ended up writing the lyrics for one of the other verses. It was kind of like one of these things where by the end of the song, no one's getting any credit.
It's all of ours, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you mentioned like the singing used to be almost lawless, like, oh, I'm going to take this part because I always take this part. This is how I naturally sing. If there's no like choir director of which to speak, is this a different way of learning to sing? I mean, how do you, I'm getting so technical. I just find it fascinating because it's so many personalities and vocals and ideas, I guess, about a song.
So we do kind of have like roles, I guess, like in terms of the lead arrangements, especially nowadays. I'm very focused on like singer equity. So I have this equation in my head over, especially a lot of the later arrangements, how it should go. And I think there are 3 rules. The first is that no one can sing the same section twice. The second rule is that no one can sing twice before anybody has sung once, in terms of no one can sing 3 times before anybody has sung 2 times as well. And I think those are the main two rules. And then we all write harmonies, but Charlie, who's not here, really is the king that I've met of harmonies. He's the only person I've ever met in my life who can, like, in his head think through like diminished chord harmonies, like, which is just really difficult to do, especially when you're not at a piano.
And then in order to, like, I guess I would say for the four of us, our comfort with like learning new harmonies and singing parts that are higher than what we would typically sing or lower than what we would typically sing, or finding that sweet spot, a lot of that came from, yes, performing shows since Michelle's inception, but also from the hours spent in the studio and like singing all these different parts, auditioning your voice on the verse versus the chorus versus the pre-chorus and seeing where that sits best. And you end up singing words that you didn't write originally and feeling that different voice in your voice, and then you start to get comfortable with it, and then you have to learn how to kind of give that message and performance through your own skin that wasn't originally yours. And that's been a really, I think, rewarding process of being in this band.
I'm so happy to hear that equity of voice is not like accidental. I mean, I notice it. That's the first thing I notice. But you're saying it's very intentional. It's downright mathematical to make sure that everybody's part of every single song.
You have to pass calculus to be in Michelle.
Yeah, okay. Well,
just kidding. If that was the case, I would not be in Michelle. I only made it to pre-calc.
Pre-calc. Okay, so preparing for a tour, you talked about like the timelines and stuff. But once you're on tour, anything you would like to air out right here? This is a safe space as a family band touring. I mean, how do you share the whole apparatus that is getting on the road night after night doing this thing?
I was just going to say, tour is just about where you're going to eat next. As long as you know where you're going to eat next, you'll be fine.
Then you're fine.
Yeah.
If you're fed?
If you're fed, then you can make all the other decisions you have to make on tour. But we're a pretty well-oiled machine because this is our 10th tour that we've done. So, yeah. So long as we know where to eat, we'll land on our feet.
Our rule is you're not allowed to be tired and hungry at the same time.
Oh, bad
you
news
can
bears.
be tired or hungry, but not both.
This is stupid and embarrassing, but it's true. I practice radical love, which is that, like, I think no matter what, you're always going to find a point where you're angry or angry at somebody else. But when I find myself in those situations, and this is true, especially like when we're about to go on stage, and no matter how angry you are at somebody or just so pissed off, you have to go support each other. This is something I learned in high school in like my mindfulness class, which is I close my eyes, or I do it open, and I picture everybody in the band, and I say, like, I love you. Like, I love you. I love you. I want the best for you. I love you so much. And that just really helps me get through it, because there's no way you're going to get so annoyed at everybody. It's just the matter. But, like, I practice radical love, and that helps me.
That's not stupid at all. It's
No.
a very beautiful sentiment and practice that I think more people need to learn.
I'm taking it back to my team.
Yeah, period.
Our team meetings have changed forever. Radical love.
Period.
Well, I thank you all for bringing your tour again through Nashville, and wish you the best on the road. And yeah, love this record, and the decades it feels like it spans. It has like so many lives, right? Like the Sade, the Britney, it's all of it. And I just appreciate how you brought this to the fore. Thanks for coming to Nashville.
Thanks for having
Thanks for
us.
having us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.